Most people who want to quit their job think that they need investors and a business plan or some kind of special skill to make it happen. But today I'm going to show you the 6 businesses that you can start for under $1,000 that have a real path to replacing your income, not as a side hustle, but as an actual career. My name's Austin Zabak, and I've been building businesses for over a decade in real estate, pest control, and a handful of other industries, and every business on this list is something that I've seen firsthand actually work. And if you get any value out of today's video, do me a huge favor and just smash that like button. It'll really help us out a ton and get this video in front of more people who need to see it. Let's start with one that's gonna surprise you. And most people have no idea that this is even a business, let alone one that generates recurring subscription revenue every single month, and that is can to curb services. You take people's trash cans from their garage or their backyard to the curb on collection day, and then you bring it back. That's literally the entire business. And I actually did a full business tour with the founder of a company called Can Monkey, which is an Arizona-based company built around this exact idea. And he told me the entire origin story. He was walking his dog one night when he watched his neighbor pull up in his Mercedes, drive straight into the garage, and leave the trash can sitting at the end of the driveway. And he realized that nobody wants to deal with this annoying task. Maybe there's an opportunity here. And that one observation became a real business. And Can Monkey is not a small company. They actually ranked number 2 in Consumer Services of Inc. 5000's list of America's fastest growing companies. They've been featured on ABC News, and they now service over 6,000 properties. They handle more than 30,000 individual bin movements every single month, and they operate across 25 states and hundreds of cities. And they charge between $45 and $65 a month per property depending on the plan. And the model works because it solves a problem that sounds small until you actually have it solved for you, and then you can never go back. And that is the psychology that makes this business so powerful. The churn rate on subscribers is almost nothing. Once somebody has this handled for them, the monthly charge kind of becomes invisible. And it's the same reason that people never cancel their housekeeper or their pool cleaner. Convenience is addictive. Now think about the customer base for a minute. Elderly homeowners who can't drag heavy cans down a long driveway in the heat or in the cold. Busy dual income families who forget until they hear the truck at 6 o'clock in the morning, and then they scramble out there in their pajamas. And corporate professionals who value their time more than the cost of the service itself. And then there's this one. The United States has around 2.25 million active Airbnb properties, and every single one of those hosts needs their trash handled between guests. They might not be there to do it themselves, and that is a customer that most people running this type of business probably haven't even tapped into yet. And here's what I love about this from a startup perspective. You need almost nothing to actually get going. You don't need a truck, equipment, or a license. You need a neighborhood, a schedule, and a car to get you to the house. And if you can build a tight enough route and add customers, then your recurring revenue will continue to stack. All right, number 2 is one that most people don't even think of as a startup business. They think of it as kind of a trade. But what I'm about to explain is how one guy turned a pandemic side hustle into a multiple 7-figure company doing work that high-end homeowners and custom home builders are lining up to pay for. The business is accent walls, okay? So think custom trim work and built-ins. And before you say you're not a carpenter, my friend Daniel wasn't either when he started. He was just a little bit handy. And when the pandemic hit and everyone was stuck at home staring at their walls, he started posting in local Facebook groups offering to do accent walls and trim upgrades. People wanted their spaces to feel different. Daniel showed up, he did the work, and his phone literally never stopped ringing. That business is now called Accent Art Creators, and today it generates multiple 7 figures a year. And he's not just doing accent walls for homeowners anymore. He's become the preferred millwork partner for custom home builders here in Arizona, doing the trim and built-in work that elevates the finished product and that justifies their price point that they're gonna take it to the market. And that is how you go from Facebook posts to being embedded in the construction pipeline of luxury home builders. Now I can speak on this personally. Daniel has done work in my own home. He did a bunch of trim throughout my house, he did a custom built-in for my home office, and he did a lot of shelving in my living room around my fireplace. And I paid just under $20,000 for that work, and it completely transformed my home. And every single person who walks into my house literally asks me about it. That is the kind of product and service that markets itself. I've referred at least a handful of customers to him. And the market data supports this business. The US millwork industry generates $37.5 billion in annual revenue, and it is driven primarily by residential construction and renovations. So people are actively investing in their spaces, and the ones with money to spend are not going to Home Depot to DIY. They are hiring somebody like you to come in and do it right. Now here's what makes the business business scalable. You start solo, just you, one project at a time, building your portfolio and your reputation. You post all of your work on Instagram and Facebook because finished accent walls and built-ins are some of the most shareable content on social media. And you pick up a couple of referrals. Then you approach a custom home builder if you want to, and you offer to handle their trim work. One builder relationship can keep a small crew busy for months. And at that point, maybe you hire somebody, you systematize, and you start to actually scale and grow. Startup costs would include a quality miter saw, maybe a nail gun, some measuring tools, some basic materials, which can pretty much be put together for under $1,000, and it might be some stuff that you already have in your garage. Your first project funds the next project. And in a market where the average job runs into thousands of dollars, the return on that initial investment can happen very fast. All right, number 3 is something that every gym, every office, and every busy person in your city already needs, and it's something that I actually spend money on. Most people hear meal prep and they think that somebody's just cooking food out of their house for a couple of extra dollars. But what they don't realize is this is one of the most scalable, recurring revenue service businesses that you can build from scratch, and the demand is only growing. At my local gym here in Scottsdale, there's actually a freezer sitting right by the front desk, and inside of that freezer are prepackaged meals. You got breakfast options starting around $9, you have lunch meals running up to $17, and they're all ready to grab on the way out the door. There's no app, there's no delivery or any wait time. Just food that's already made, already portioned, and exactly what people walking out of a gym want after a workout. And that freezer belongs to a company called Eat Clean Phoenix. And what started as a meal prep operation has turned into something way bigger. They now run multiple Sprinter vans, they have more than 10 delivery drivers on the road, and back in 2022, they were already serving 1,500 customers every single week. Since then, they've expanded into 2 physical shops here in Arizona, and that number is significantly higher now. Now that is a real business built around cooking food and getting it to people who don't have time to cook it themselves. Around 41% of adults aged 20 to 45 regularly use meal prep services, and nearly a third of meal prep consumers specifically want a subscription-based weekly solution, meaning they want to pay you the same amount every single week on autopilot. That is recurring revenue from a kitchen. Now here's what makes this model totally accessible. You don't need a restaurant and you don't need your own building. Shared commercial kitchen rentals typically run $15 to $45 an hour or $50 to $150 a day depending on usage. So you start with 3 to 5 rotating meals. You keep your menu tight, test what sells, and minimize all of the waste. And all you gotta do is do a little bit of marketing where your customers already are. Think gyms, personal trainers, wellness influencers, local Facebook groups. The niche angle is where this gets really interesting. High protein, gluten-free, vegan. When you own a specific dietary niche in your city, you kind of become the go-to. You will need a food handler's card in most states, a health department permit, and you're probably gonna wanna check your local cottage food laws. And that sounds like a lot, but it's a few $100s and a weekend course. Consider it the barrier that keeps your competition out of the industry. And the startup cost is really just your certification, shared kitchen rental, containers, and labels. You're also gonna need some ingredients for your first batch, and that comes in well under $1,000 if you just start small and be smart about it. Number 4 is one that most people skip right past because they think that the market is too crowded, but I'm telling you right now, it's not. And that is commercial cleaning. Now, most people think about cleaning businesses and they picture somebody scrubbing residential bathrooms for $150. But that isn't really the version of the business that replaces your income really fast. Here's the difference. A residential customer pays you $150 maybe twice a month if you're lucky. A commercial client at a medical office, a gym, a restaurant, they'll pay you $1,500 to $5,000 a month on a contract. And they don't price shop the way that homeowners do. They want somebody who's reliable, and they want somebody that shows up every single time without being reminded. Now, if you can be that person, they will keep paying you for years without even thinking about it. The industry behind this is actually really massive. Commercial cleaning is a $110 billion sector in America. It doesn't just keep buildings looking clean, it keeps offices, healthcare facilities, and government buildings safe, healthy, and functional. And that's not a luxury service, that's a literal necessity when you're talking about the world of commercial. And that demand continues to grow every single year as hygiene standards continue to tighten and businesses focus more on environments that their employees are working in. Now, here's what makes the business model so compelling. Net profit margins in commercial cleaning typically run between 10 and 28%. That is exceptional for a service business with almost no overhead and no equipment depreciation beyond all of your basic supplies. And 95% of companies in this space provide general commercial cleaning, while 79% offer janitorial work, meaning there's still a wide open opportunity in specialized services like healthcare healthcare facility cleaning, government building contracts, and specialty deep cleaning that most of the small operators aren't even pursuing. Now here's what the path to income replacement actually looks like. You land one commercial contract, maybe a small medical office at $2,000 a month. You do the work yourself at first, then you land a second contract. And once you get to 4 or 5, you hire somebody to do the physical work and you shift more into the operations side and more into the sales side. You don't win this business with a flashy website. You win it by showing up in person, introducing yourself, asking who manages the cleaning, and then making them an offer that they can actually say yes to. A couple of the biggest things are just going ahead and getting your LLC set up, getting some business insurance, maybe getting a business license, and just making sure that all your bases are covered. And I actually have some friends over at Prime Corporate Services that are offering all my viewers, and that includes you, a free LLC, and they also do all sorts of business funding and other things as well. And all you gotta do is go to talktoprime.com, and I'll leave the link down in the description below. Insurance is really a big one, and this one matters the most when you're in commercial cleaning because you're working inside other people's businesses. And I guarantee you when you go to get your first contract, they're going to ask for proof that you have it before they sign anything. Now the startup cost on this one is pretty dang low. All you're gonna need is some cleaning supplies, microfiber cloths, a mop, a vacuum, and again, all of the stuff that we talked about a little while ago. Okay, number 5 is one that a lot of people talk about starting, but very few people actually execute on it. And Kyle's story is exactly why that gap is an opportunity. So my friend Kyle started Junk Rescue at 22 years old, and he wasn't coming out of the waste management industry. He was a former real estate agent with no prior experience hauling anything. He just saw the opportunity, started small, and got to work. Kyle is now 31 years old, and Junk Rescue has grown into a trusted operation serving homeowners, contractors, and businesses across the entire Phoenix Valley. They handle everything from furniture and appliances to construction debris, hot tubs, and full property cleanouts. Back when I did this tour with Kyle, the business was bringing in over $1 million a year, and they only had 4 employees at that time. That is a lean, efficient business generating serious revenue without a massive team or any complicated infrastructure. And Kyle built that from scratch. It was all self-taught, and he started with 1 truck and just himself. And if you were to look at Junk Rescue today, they're significantly bigger than when I did that interview multiple years ago. So I would imagine now they're doing multiple millions of dollars a year. And all that demand that fuels this industry is not going anywhere. People will always accumulate a bunch of crap. They will move, they will downsize, they will renovate, they're gonna clean out their garage that they haven't touched in a decade. And when they're ready to get rid of all that junk, they want one thing. They want somebody else to show up, to load it up, and to make it all go away. And for a single truck operator, you can realistically generate anywhere from $500 to $1,500 a day. And jobs are typically priced by volume. So you show up, you quote them typically on the spot, and then you end up loading it right then and there, and you get paid before you leave. And what makes junk removal scale very fast is all the relationships that you build while you're doing it. So think about all the real estate agents that you're gonna meet, the property managers, the contractors, the estate sale companies. Those are all people with a constant stream of properties that need to be cleared. In America, on average, 1 out of every 2 tenants moves out of their rental on a yearly basis, which means there's always something to continue to clear out. If you already have a truck, your startup cost is essentially nothing. And if you don't already have a truck, then you just gotta get creative in the very beginning until you can afford to go buy one. A couple of ideas that I had were literally go rent a U-Haul for like $39, and then if you go charge somebody $300, then that margin is your initial spread. And if you do that enough times, then at some point you're gonna be able to go buy your own truck. Another idea is you could borrow a truck from a family member, maybe your mom, maybe your dad, somebody who's willing to loan it to you. Kyle ultimately proved that you don't need industry experience, you don't need a big team, and you don't need a complicated strategy. You need a truck, a work ethic, and the willingness to show up when nobody else wants to. And finally, let's talk about the most proven one on the entire list. Not the flashiest, definitely not the most exciting, but the one that has quietly been building wealth for regular people for decades, and it still is. And that is lawn care. The US lawn care and landscaping industry includes over 726,000 businesses, and nearly 80% of US households participate in lawn and garden activities. Single-family properties alone make up nearly 60% of all landscaping company revenues. So that really isn't a niche. That is one of the largest, most consistent service markets in the entire country. And here's the most important thing to understand about this industry, and that is 80 to 90% of it is all small, local, independent, mom and pop operators. The market is ultimately super fragmented, and what I love about fragmented industries is that you can go in, be hungrier than everybody else. You know, think of all the people that have been doing it for 20 or 30 years, and they're not on the offense anymore. They're on the defense. They're just managing what they have. Then all you gotta do is come in, work harder, be hungrier, and you can literally dominate people. The average household spends about $1,000 to $1,500 a year on lawn care. Now, if you multiply that across every single family neighborhood, you're looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars sitting within a 2-mile radius of where you live. And as a solo operator doing 8 to 10 lawns a day, you're generating anywhere between $500 and $1,000 in revenue. And all your startup costs are really is a used commercial mower, a trimmer, a blower, and maybe a trailer. And you can find all that for under $1,000 if you shop smart and maybe buy it used. And once you start building a route and a team, you can watch the compounding begin like everything else on the list. I just gave you 6 businesses all under $1,000 that you can start that don't require a degree, and most of them don't require a license. And all of them have the potential to replace whatever income it is that you're making right now. But here's what I want to be clear about. None of what we talked about today is a get-rich-quick play. But I'm telling you right now that in my life, I've learned there is no such thing as fast money. Fast money doesn't exist. But what does exist is if you go out there in the world and you give it your all on a daily basis, you can literally get wealthy in America by doing the most boring, mundane crap that nobody else wants to do. As a matter of fact, most of the wealthiest people that you look up to did so in industries that you would never even begin to think about or imagine. So I appreciate you for watching the video. All you gotta do is subscribe and like if you haven't already. It would mean the world to me. You can get this channel and my videos in front of more people who need to see them. Comment down below which one of these you liked, which one maybe you hate, and I'd love to interact with you down there, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next